almost as if there's like some kind of conspiracy to make sure that Jag never really gets hurt. So, yes, we're back. And thank you for the special gifts. Thank you for the gifts. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are very weary about donating to whoever or whatever the case may be, which is why this is a membership-only platform, because for those who really support what we're trying to do and the cruelty-free artistry, agenda, and movement, this is the easiest way. Become a member. Keep the membership going. We appreciate super chats as well. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Doctor Who, I don't know the boy. Guess what? Neither do I like that. Nah, for real, for real. I know exactly who Umar is. I remember him from Philly. I'm from Philly.
Okay, so you remember him from the Philly days?
Well, I remember him from the Cherry Hill Mall.
What was up? So what was up with that?
Well, back in the day before I met, I would see him down Redstone. You know, I saw him. And that's when people first started accusing him of not being a real Pan-African and chasing after white women.
Oh, dang.
And Cherry Hill is a predominantly, you know, snow bunny territory.
So he was snow bunny chasing.
So, you know, and I remember hearing him do commentary one time talking about just because he was talking to a white woman in the Cherry Hill Mall didn't mean that he was in the snow bunnies and whatever the case may be. Like, I've been seeing all of this. Like, what's even funnier is I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan. I've made that very clear. I've never had anything negative to say. I have no reason to get, like, just because I don't always bang with somebody doesn't mean I'm going to be talking about them or pointing them out or doing any of these things. Like, that's not what I do. Whatever my agenda is, I stick to my agenda. And as far as I'm concerned, he's not a part of my agenda. He never has been. You can't go back before now. No one has ever heard me speak on him at all.
In fact, the Blue Couch asked him, what do they think about you? And he said
no comment. And guess what? It's always been that way. He's had no comment about me. I've had no comment about him. But me speaking up about this instance has nothing to do with me being a cheerleader for him, has nothing to do with me trying to defend him or trying to expose him. It's the manner in which he's being exposed that I am talking about. That's what I have a problem with. And I appreciate it. We got 153 people in the room. We need 100 more likes. All you have to do is double tap the screen. See, just because I speak up about something doesn't mean I'm speaking up for someone. Actually, what I really am doing is calling everybody out on the foolishness. And people come to me and told me that Umar is a scam artist, that he's a womanizer, that he's a this, that he's a that, he's a buck, did the buck, got a donation every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? People have had plenty to say. And guess what? They can say that. People have plenty of things to say about me too. But the thing is whether you're working on the side of the angels or whether or not you're a scumbag, polarizing figures constantly get targeted. Constantly. Listen to me. I'm not saying that he should be online. I didn't agree with what he had to say about the woman either. But the problem that I had was the woman and where she came from. You know, it's one thing if you're going to go after somebody for being a fraud, being a thief, scamming the public, doing all of that. But see, when you start bringing disgruntled lovers and ex-people, like, I don't understand what his relationship with that woman has to do with him being a fraud. Like, how do we get from his relationship or lack thereof relationship get to, yeah, and he's a fraud, he's been scamming the people, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. See what I'm saying? It's a red herring. It's a red herring. More importantly than that, for this to not be blowing up on real, like any real, like, it came on all of the frauds. All of the frauds first. Or am I wrong?
No.
Now, I don't know the Linen Honor guy. I didn't even know he existed. I found out from you who he was because he did a documentary and you were in it. Peep that. Said in the West was in a Linen Honor documentary. And the only thing that I know is that, and if I'm correct, that documentary was about demonizing hip-hop.
Gangster rap, quote unquote, or reality rap.
Yeah. Now, he also, before Dr. Umar, went after somebody from the community who was also a whistleblower who was calling out real stuff. And that man's name happens to be Professor Grift.
Shout out to Grift.
And shout out to Professor Grift and to his partner Soleil, who we both know and we both support. So apparently, you know, and there was a whole campaign and smear campaign against Grift, going after him, trying to attach him to very, you know, duplicitous characters, trying to make it seem like he was a domestic, you know, terror person, and all of that. And Linen Honor was trying to jump onto that, but when he realized that there were folks in the community that weren't going to let that happen, he found a new meal, and his new meal was Dr. Umar. And it's been his meal for nearly 10 years. Now, for someone like me, who has crazy content creators like Trash K and all of her minions, who have made a meal out of me, for me, that's a problem. That's a problem in itself. Anyone who spends year after year, who can spend nearly a decade talking, having only one topic, one conversation, you're targeting this person. And considering who he was trying to target first, my question is who's running him? Because what it sounds like is that you were willing to go after people in the conscious community to expose them as frauds for whatever reason. Have you? Like, I don't get it. But for him to have been going after this man for all of these years, and you don't strike pay dirt until you find this remainder disgruntled ex-person who wants to, because let's be honest, this whole new exposure about him, it didn't start off with, oh, he's a scam artist and he's a this and he's a that. Because let's be clear, a lot of these content creators who are talking cash money crap about him right now, 6 weeks ago, were hosting them on their channels all about the Diddy trial. Were they not? Everyone was sitting there, oh, and he's talking about going after black billionaires, and he's talking about this, and everything was great, and now all of a sudden he's a scam artist. But it takes this woman who he had an intimate involvement with. And let's be clear, it was also inflamed by using his mom, his elderly mother who was sick. Now, over there on Drizzle Monroe's channel, after she left the Trash K, because see, she went from the linen sheets to the Trash K to the Drizzle Monroe, and then the next thing you know, everybody started jumping on it. And I'm telling you right now, that is the disinformation hotline. Like, it's the disinformation hotline. But nobody was talking about him being a fraud. It was, we're going to talk about what a womanizer he is. We're going to talk about what a this he is. We're going to talk about how nasty he is. And guess what? He did this to his mom. He did that to his mom. Oh, he's a fraud. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. He's a federal fraud. Wait a minute. Tell us about his money. Tell us about this. Tell us about that. The headlines were all about her and her lady parts. And him talking about fellatio. And she gave this, gave that.
That just lets you know the content creators who, well, I wouldn't put Lennon down there as like one of them trash ones who talk about sex and all that, whatever.
No,
but
he's been busy trying to for a decade.
That lets you know what got people's attention, what piqued people's interest.
Yeah.
When Umar actually came up first and said her vagina smell like this and that, and her drawers.
Exactly,
so
which I told you was crazy.
Right, like
I thought it was crazy.
That was.
There was no way he should have been having that conversation.
Out of pocket.
And well, see, this is what's the first thing that I said when I heard that? I said he's mad, he's pissed off, they've gaslit him, and now he done ran his mouth. It's gonna be impossible for him to promote that school after this.
Yep.
What female parent is going to want to send their child to that school with him talking about women this way? That's the first thing I said.
That's what I said on the pod. Remember, I'm like,
yeah.
Martin Luther King. What if? I'm glad they didn't have social media when Martin Luther King was there, because imagine that. Like, people are gonna run with that
forever.
Yeah.
But this is what we were saying from the jump, and we said it on the pod. Maybe I wasn't doing a lot of. Okay, hold on, wait a second. We got almost 300 people in here, but we need about 200 more likes. Please keep tapping that screen. I understand. So, because we're not going to be here very long. We're not going to be here very long, so we need to get the likes up, because you know how they be hating on us in the algorithm. So please get the likes up. Get the likes up. But I said everything that he had to say was a total disaster. And I said they're going to hang him high behind this. But it wasn't all of the years that people, this one person was, he's a fraud, he's a fraud, he's a fraud. That didn't get no traction. It wasn't until they added the actual component, the intimacy component, that people got all riled up. And then it was, oh, now he's a fraud. Now he's a fraud. Now, mind you, none of this was going on the channel that was exposing him for almost a decade. No, it went to the Trash K. It went to all the salacious. And they started hosting this woman, and then he's a fraud, and then he's a fraud, and then he's a fraud. I got issues with that. Because if we're going to go after somebody for being something, then let's go after them for that. Let's not use a carrier agent to find a way to segue into that. I don't get it. All of these people, for all of these years, thank you, sweetie. Thank you, and welcome to the channel. I'm trying to understand. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Because I look at the way people target people online, and anytime I see that kind of gang stalking, dog piling campaign, where they use one thing, one inflammatory, and boom. But just 6 weeks ago, he was great. Just 6 weeks ago, almost every last one of these content creators was talking about his commentary, using his commentary, going viral with him, doing this, doing that. And now all of a sudden he's scammers, he's scammers, he's scammers, he's scumbag. And maybe he's all those things. I don't know. That's not on my radar. That wasn't on my radar. What came on my radar was how fast the campaign began. And it began very quickly. Very quickly. And very viciously. They made a meal out of him. But you want to know what else was going on at the time this happened? The Diddy content numbers started going down because the trial was over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's paying attention to that. Nobody's really paying attention to that part. This whole Dr. Umar smear campaign or truth exposure, whichever one it is. Actually, both things could be true at the same time. Everyone could be right. Maybe he is all of these things. And they're smearing him with the truth at this time. But what I do know is Diddy content fell through the floor. And content creators always find a meal. They always find a meal.
They were seasoning him up, fattening him up.
Yes, they were.
For right now.
That's the thing. People have been called him a grifter. So why is it just such a big deal now? This is what I keep trying to tell everybody when it comes to the timing. We have to be very, very careful at what we're looking at and how people are talking. Whether you're on point or whether you're full of crap, it's the social media machine that I have an issue with. You know, I was doing a little research. Does anybody know who this guy is? I'm curious, how many people know who this guy is? If anyone knows who this guy is, put his name in the chat. He looks familiar, but no. Please do Google, but this is Samuel Bankman-Fried, former CEO, cryptocurrency.
He's a founder of FTX.
Founder of FTX. And guess what? When it collapsed, $8 billion. Now, he went to trial and all of that. He's been sentenced to 25 years in prison. He's appealing because he's saying his judge was biased. Thank you, Devotion. Exactly, Bankman-Fried. Now, people are running around saying that Dr. Umar stole $1.6 million in donations for a school that he never put up. $1.6 million. This young man actually got $8 billion. I don't remember any of these content creators talking about that. You know, there's a lot of things. It's the selective outrage and the selective journalism. There's a lot of that going on. A whole lot of that going on. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If the man is going to go down for being a womanizer, then we need to hear the rest of the women come forward and say it. It shouldn't just be this one woman. Matter of fact, if she wanted to make the campaign that he's a womanizer and he's a dangerous man and he's that, then why didn't she go and reach out to other women that have had the same experience that she had? Why not? See, to me, that would have made more sense. If she had went and said, you know what, he's been doing this to women, he victimized me, he did this, he did that, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, yada, yada, yada. I'm asking every other woman that he's done this to come forward and stand with me. We need to stop him from doing this. I supported him. He took advantage of me. He did this. He did that. He made me feel unsafe. And I'm asking my sisters, come forward and stand with me. That's not what happened. What she did do was disgrace his elderly mother. That I did hear. Talking about a woman with a medical condition who is a sick and shut-in. And meanwhile, crazy people like Cheryl Arlay are going from chat to chat to chat. And for those of you who don't know who she is an online stalker, and I believe she's a law enforcement agent as well.
She's suspected racist.
And she's a racist. I would know, because this is the same woman who used to go from chat to chat to chat, spreading, saying that I had been essayed by my father, that my saying that I had been essayed by my father, that my father fathered Please call these numbers and have me picked up because I was insane and I needed to be put in a hospital and medicated with lithium. So everywhere this Siobhan person showed up talking about Dr. Umar's mother, this Cheryl Arlay woman happened to also be in the chat. Typing in, please, Adult Protective Services in Philadelphia, Dr. Umar's mother needs to be rescued. Please call for a wellness check. Please to the, they did it to me. See, this is why I started speaking up about it, because I saw the other stuff was going on. Nobody's talking about that though. Nobody's talking about the Siobhan woman. She didn't ask for other women to come and stand up with her against his womanizing ways. No, she sat there and she went to trolls who do cyber harassment and cyber terrorism regularly on YouTube and asked them to call. Oh yeah, his mom needs to be rescued. Oh yeah, his mom. What does his mother? What? Oh, ain't nothing wrong with my lady parts. His mother's lady parts is what's wrong. And this, that, and why is nobody talking about that? Like, how do you defend his comments about you, against you, by attacking his elderly mother? Or is everybody forgetting that? When I was trying to go and get my moving trips, and that my mother was in desperate need and help, and that my mother needed to be removed from my care because I was because my mother was, oh yeah, they did that while we were on camera. They did that, sure did. Called the police, called the hospital, did all of this stuff, did all of that stuff. Literally, ambulances come out, they check my mother's vitals, they check everything, and my mom was like, other than the fact that we were supposed to go to lunch, and I'm a little hungry, I'm fine. This is what they do. But nobody's talking about that. They had that nut, Cheryl Arlay, going from chat to chat. Yeah, on camera. My mother was perfectly fine. Now, I don't understand what that has to do with him being a fraud. I don't know what talking about his mother and inflaming people and sending people to his mother's address, I don't know what any of that has to do with that. But the only way they were able to get his mother's address to do something like that is if it came from somebody who was at the house, and we all know that the Siobhan woman was there at the house. Which means she doxed his mom. And she was supposed to be there as a caregiver. HIPAA violation as well. Like, nobody's paying attention to any of this. There's no excuse for that.